Hey basketball fans, this is Mr. JL with the HoosierDaddyJV Fantasy Hoops Nightly Report for Thursday, January the 14th, and two games in the NBA schedule tonight, including that thriller in Salt Lake. How about the Utah Jazz defeating Cleveland at the buzzer with a three-pointer from Sundiata Gaines? Who ever heard of that guy? Anyway, let's go to the matchups. First is Edwin, the red hot dragon team that he calls, is led Jonas 8-1 going into the night. Now Edwin had two players with Mo Williams and Derrick Rose, while Jonas didn't have any players. So Edwin is certainly adding to his tally in the leads that he has in points, rebounds, and assists. However, he did drop shooting percentages in both field goals and free throws. So Jonas does the gain in those categories. Edwin, how badly did his team shoot? They shot 44% from the field. I guess it's not so bad, but it did bring his percentage down a little bit, as well as the foul shooting at 66%. So Edwin still leads after tonight 8-1. There's 13 games on the schedule tomorrow, so both GMs will have full rosters, although Jonas, I'm not sure what he's going to do. He has Chris Kaman eligible for tomorrow. However, Kaman didn't play last night. I wasn't so sure what happened there until I found out today that he has a back injury. Haven't heard anything else on it, so who knows? He could be probable for Friday. But for now, I don't believe Jonas has him set for his Friday lineup. Moving on to the next matchup is Adam and Scott. Adam is 2 games ahead of Scott in the standings before the week started, and he led going into Thursday night 7-2 over Scott. Scott did have 2 players in Joakim Noah and Delonte West, which for Scott was a very good pickup. Adam, however, did have 6 players after picking up Brad Miller and Anthony Parker. So what happened today? Scott has now acquired a new category. He takes over the lead in field goals, as Adam's team shot a very low percentage, somewhere in the mid-30s for Adam's team tonight. For Friday, both GMs will have full rosters, though Adam has Nate Robinson currently on the bench with Pau Gasol in his current lineup. Now Gasol has been out with a left hamstring injury, but I believe I read on CBSSports.com that he is likely to return for the game against the Clippers on Friday night. So we'll see what happens. We'll stay tuned and look at Adam's roster for Friday. I believe he will keep it as is. I don't see him moving Gasol to the bench for Nate Robinson unless the word is that Gasol will not play. But for now, it looks like he is likely to play. Now going on to my matchup with Renee, I was going into tonight leading 8-1. I had Ray Allen, Ronnie Brewer, and Shaq playing for me, while Renee had Kendrick Perkins and Darren Williams. Of course, Darren Williams is one of the premier point guards in the league. With that being said, he being Renee did catch up and I think passed me. Yes, he did pass me in the assist category. So now Renee only trails 7-2. Couple days left in the week. He's close in all the other categories, so he could remain competitive. Don't let that 7-2 lead that I have right now mislead you. I'm going to have to work on figuring out my rosters for the next 3 nights. We'll see how that works out. We both have full rosters as well tomorrow. Renee currently has Ben Gordon on the bench, but he's got 2 hurt players currently set in his lineup for Friday, both Kevin Martin and Brandon Roy. Brandon Roy actually hurt his right hamstring in the game against the Bucks last night, but I think I heard on the radio earlier this afternoon Nate McMillan hinting that he is probable to play. And then word out earlier this week on NBA TV, I believe I heard reports that Kevin Martin had been practicing with the team, and the Kings are likely to play Kevin Martin on Friday night. So we'll see how that fractured left wrist has healed for him. If both players are certain to be playing by the time we hear the news on Friday morning, I don't see Renee changing his lineup. Moving on to Chris's matchup versus Team Swine Flu. He led 5-4 going into tonight. Mike and Evan now have an astounding 132 moves for the season, and tonight he had 2 players playing for him versus Chris with just 1. Chris also had Kevin Garnett eligible, but Garnett didn't play for the Celtics and hasn't been for a while. Bad news for Chris is Swine Flu did take over 2 categories, both in rebounds and steals, although Chris did have a good game from Luol Deng in scoring and in shooting percentages, while it's really hard to maintain a lead over Team Swine Flu as long as they have LeBron James. LeBron James had a terrific game at Utah tonight with 36 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 steals. Again, steals being a category he's now taken over. They also got 3 steals from Paul Millsap. Tomorrow they both have full rosters, although Chris is sitting the recently acquired Jared Jeffries, and Mike is currently sitting Jermaine O'Neal, who we picked up earlier today. Now going into our final matchup is Bill leading Mike 5-4 going into tonight. I want to start by reporting a little somber news. Bill lost his father earlier this morning to cancer. Bill had been in town for the last 2 weeks while standing by his father's side, and I found out this morning he lost his father, so my heartfelt condolences go out to you and your family, Bill. Bill did not need to do anything or look at his roster tonight. He had nobody playing for him. Mike, however, had Rajon Rondo, Paul Pierce, and AK-47, combining those 3 with 43 points, 12 rebounds, 14 assists, and the all-important 2 3-pointers made has now tied Mike in that category with Bill, so they have a 4-4 tie with a tie in threes at 22 apiece. Now let's go to our League Leaders segment, brought to you by PortlandOnTheCheap.com, your source for money-saving values and optimizing your dollar. I lead in 3 categories, happily, in rebounds at 174, while Adam trails just by 4. I also lead handily in block shots with 29, and then I also lead in field goals at 485. Edwin a close second at 481. Now Edwin does lead in 2 categories himself, just outscoring everybody big time, and with 515 points, and he's got 36 threes. In assists, Mike leads the pack. Mike with 7 apples at 95. In the steals category, Adam leads at 36. Free throw percentage, Chris leads at well over 87%, and in turnovers, Scott's team has the fewest at 25. And that was your League Leaders, once again brought to you by PortlandOnTheCheap.com. Friday, as I mentioned before, there is 13 games on the schedule, and notable pickups. Actually, you know what? I can tell you all the pickups that were made as of now for tomorrow. Adam picked up 2 guys in, I believe I mentioned before, Nate Robinson, and he also picked up Marvin Williams, dropping Anthony Parker and Brad Miller, who he only kept for, I believe, 1 night. Mike in the 7 apples, he picks up, he drops Kenyon Martin and picks up Anderson Varejao, although the Cavs do not play on Friday night. Team Swine Flu, Mike picks up Jermaine O'Neal. As I said, he currently has on the bench for Friday. Will he play him? We'll find out tomorrow. He drops Spencer Hawes. And then finally, Scott picks up Flip Murray as the Bobcats play the Spurs tomorrow, and drops Delonte West. One available free agent I can mention to you guys worth looking at is DeJuan Blair of the Spurs. Excellent game against Oklahoma City yesterday while my Tim Duncan sat out. So certainly one to watch for. Again, 13 games on the Friday night schedule in the NBA. This has been your Who's Your Daddy JV Fantasy Hoops Report. I am Mr. JL, the bomb from Vietnam, and boom goes the dynamite.